Reaction to Operation Olive Branch in the Syrian enclave of Afrin has been coming thick and fast. France's foreign minister called for a UN Security Council meeting over humanitarian concerns as fighting between Turkish forces and the YPG intensifies.
The gravity of the situation is new, so it's important that everything be done so that the ceasefires can be implemented very quickly and that we commit to a political solution in the Geneva process. France therefore calls for the cessation of fighting and also calls for humanitarian aid to be accessible to all.
Turkey says it is taking precautions to protect civilian life, but Tehran, an ally of the Syrian regime, called for a quick end to the operation.
The continuation of the current situation could lead to a return of terrorists and extremism to Syria. This is to the betterment of neither Syria nor its neighbours.
While Moscow, another supporter of Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad, says it's withdrawn some of its troops in Afrin. And spokesmen for Britain's Foreign Office said they are closely following developments and recognise that Turkey has a legitimate interest in the security of its borders. And then there's the US. During a press conference last week, before Turkish troops crossed into Syria, the US State Department had this to say.
We would call on, certainly on the Turks, to not take any actions of that sort. Focus needs to be on ISIS. So we don't want them to engage in violence, but we want them to keep focused on ISIS.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson spoke with his Turkish and Russian counterparts by phone on Saturday. He said he supports Ankara as a NATO ally and what he called a critical partner in the effort to defeat Daesh. But as years of war in Syria has shown, having Daesh as a shared enemy is far from a unifying force. Moscow blames the Pentagon for provoking Turkey into entering Afrin by supplying weapons to pro-US forces in northern Syria in recent weeks, rapidly escalating tensions in the region. It has also criticised the US for encouraging Kurdish separatism inside Syria.
Striving to understand the motivation behind such Washington policy, there is nothing left but to assume that this is either a lack of an understanding of the situation there or a deliberate provocation.
Complicating a situation that's set to get even more complex. Vanessa Coneely, The Newsmakers.